Hi, I'm Brandy. This is Hound Dog Hollow, and today we're going to be doing a get ready with me uh, and just basically going over how I get ready for the week ahead. I am a little smidge late, but of course, my son absolutely decided that he did not get full from lunch and he must eat now. So I facilitating him getting his own bowl of cereal. And he's now in the room now. So I'm also facilitating him having some play dates this week. So, um, so sorry if I get some texts. I'm also camp nurse for the Native American youth camp, and so I got to keep my phone where I can hear it in case somebody needs assistance. So this is, I don't know if I've ever done a live or a get ready with me about how I prepare for the week ahead. Um, I think that if you follow my channel for any period of time, you know that I bullet journal. So the tools that I need is my bullet journal. This is my current Book of Shadows. This I've done the unboxings for the Quirky Cup Collective's journals. They are absolutely luscious, absolutely luscious. And so this is where I keep my Book of Shadows. I have my everyday book. So this is kind of like not a trash notebook, but it's where I kind of messily put in everything for the day and just um, what I'm doing with myself here, right? So it's just for me to write notes. I'm not probably actually I won't use this today particularly because I like to write this every morning. Every morning I kind of I already went over my morning routine in the last live on Friday Night Live, when we talked about mundane magic and how to bring practice into your daily life. Mornings are probably the most magical part for me, the most consistently that I connect. Um, and this is part of it where I say, what am I going to do today? What are the energies today? What is on? And I just plan the day. That's what this is for. This is right now we're talking about planning the week. And so I usually use this on a daily, but not for the weekly planning. I am old fashioned, so got me a pencil and a pencil sharpener. I cannot stress to you enough the joys of a perfectly sharpened pencil, but that is probably the Virgo stellium that I have. So you know how it be. I have my favorite pen for my bullet journal. My back hurts. I'm pregnant and my back hurts. That should be like how I introduce myself. Okay. Okay, I was going to say, did I grab the wrong damn book? I did not grab the wrong book. And so I also talked to you guys about how I have as many of the planners that I could get digitally on my iPad. And I also have GoodNotes. I can't seem to find my Apple Pencil, so I'm going to be writing it by hand in my Book of Shadows. But I have a lot of my planners on here. The other thing that I kind of do, not to cheat, but to set myself up for success, in that to set myself up that I don't bail, that I don't, find some excuse not to do it. Do I still find excuses? Absolutely. But what helps me kind of mitigate that, because I have a really busy life and being pulled in so many directions, is that the physical planners that I cannot get digitally, what I do is in the beginning of the month when I'm doing my monthly planning, and I might do a get ready with me about that if there's interest, is I go and I take a picture of all of the pertinent pages for that month so that I have it on my phone. If I'm out and about and I'm like, oh, I didn't do my planning, but I have it here, I can jot it down. So that also really helps me. The other thing is I have access to my emails where I get some weekly emails about the week ahead. I have access to my Chani app, which has my week ahead. I have, I can look up the moon signs if I need to, but it's already written in my bullet journal. and I have access to social media if I need to, but I typically don't do any, I don't follow anybody specifically about the week ahead. So that all being said, let me show you how I get started. So first things first, when I'm doing a week ahead and my Apple Pencil disappears, which it's actually, or it's dead, it's actually a more common situation than I would like. I really got to get a better. Oh, my pencil broke. Boo. Boo. Curses, I say. There we go. Boop, boop. Okay. So I'm going to write, I like to number all of my pages. I'm just neurotic that way. I start out with today's date. Sunday, July 17, 2022. I like to write out the astrology placements. That's just me. You don't have to do that, obviously. It's just something I like to do. It's a nice reminder. Okay, so has anything moved since yesterday? So today, Venus entered Cancer. Venus is in Cancer. The sun is in Cancer. Them dogs better not be fighting, because if I have to get up, somebody's getting a spanking. Mars is in Taurus and Jupiter's in Aries. And then Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius. Uranus. Is Uranus retrograde yet? No, it is not, in Taurus. Uranus is just in Taurus. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. Chiron is just Aries. Ceres is in Cancer as well. Vesta is retrograde in Pisces. Pallas Athena is in Gemini. Juno's in Pisces. And True Node is in Taurus. Hi, Liberius. So then the next thing I look at is my moon phases, and I have all this. Hi, V73. I have all this written down. I write it down in my book of shadows just so I can refer to it. And it says that we have a waiting gibbous in Pisces. That's our moon. For dreams, I wrote it down in my notepad. Check. I did my ancestors said. Check. I just like to double check with myself that I'm keeping up with my spiritual practice. You, of course, do whatever you want to put in yours. It's you do you. So then I'll just write week of, and for me, that's July 18th. I start my weeks on Monday, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, through July 24th, 2022. So now I've got my stage ready. I will be ready to take my notes. I start out in my email. That's just my routine for myself. And I kind of look at what I have going on through my mailing list. So what I have is typically 2 different resources that I get weekly emails. And we've talked about them before. So I get an email from Chani. So I got the Chani app. I subscribe to the emails, and I also follow on Instagram. Chani is really good astrology info, and the app is free. I get the premium version, but the weekly update is free for everybody who has subscribed. And so basically, Chani says the card of the week is the sun. We're fixing to change astrological signs on the 22nd. We're going into Leo, which is pretty cool. So, wear your loudest statement piece, take the spotlight, light it up. Mercury gets a boost on the 23rd from Jupiter. If there's one day this week for manifestation spells, joyous announcements, and good press, it's this one. So July 23rd is a really good day for spell work of the nature written. Gold star on your calendar, please. So I'm going to go ahead and put July 18th to July 19th. So then, as it says specific days of the week, I jot a note down there, and every day, like I said on my live, I go through and I just kind of review what we have going on. So that's going to be a Saturday. So Saturday is a good day for manifestation. Write that down. Manifestation and good press. All right. All right. And then July 22nd, Sun, Leo. And then there's an affirmation of the week. She tells you what to look at. It's pretty straightforward. You can get it for yourself for free in the Chani app. So I'm just going to type it in so you guys know what I'm talking about. Chani. So the Astro Twins is also another email that I get every week. They have 2 options available. So I am going to say for Chani, I will go to the app itself because it'll have a week ahead reading specifically for my rising sign. That is what I like about the Chani, but the email is just kind of a repetition of the same information. Strengthen your background. This Tuesday, July 19th, Chiron, the wounded healer comet, flips into its annual retrograde, backing up through warrior sign Aries until December 23rd. Chiron holds the key to our alchemical gifts, but to access them, you must turn inward and push past your own stumbling blocks. This year has had no shortages of important causes to stand up and fight for, and Chiron's backspin can help us all uncover soulful strategies for the battle. In love, it's time to evaluate your standards. The Leo sun trumpets a PSA. You deserve to be treated like royalty by the one you love. But hear ye, keep those expectations realistic. Most people don't have the time or budget to fawn over each other 24/7. Invest equal energy into your creative pursuits and commit to follow through. So then it has a link where you can read more in depth. And I'm just going to do that, and I'll write, what anything that sticks out to me. So it sounds like Mercury is going to go into Leo on Tuesday. So that will be a good time for turning up the volume on your creative expression. Yeah, I mean, I like it. On Friday, the 22nd, the sun goes into Leo, which is my solar return. I'm a Leo. And then you can click on your personal sign. I always click on my rising sign because it has a lot to do with how the placements specifically affect you. And if you don't click on your rising sign, you don't know where things are transiting in your personal natal chart. So if at all possible, when you're talking about weekly astrology or time-based astrology or astrology transits, so your new moons, your full moons, when we're talking about how things are moving through the sky right now, you're going to want to look at your rising sign. And the reason for that is because it's going to give you a better idea of where it is crossing the houses in your personal chart, right? So for me, it's Pisces because your rising sign marks where the first house of your natal chart is going to be. It'll be different for everybody. So for me, Pisces, where do your values lie? Starting on Tuesday, you'll be reminded that you vote with your dollar. As wounded healer comet turns retrograde in Aries and your second house of ethics and income. And so that's specific to me, right? It has to be a Pisces rising who has an Aries second house. If I looked at Leo, that would not be correct because if it went by my sun chart, that would not be the right house. It would be Taurus, right? Or no, it would be Virgo. So you want to kind of, if you have the ability, if you know your rising sign, it's good to check that. So connect your cash and career. This is for me specifically. Do a thorough review of the books, as in your finance books, and like how you're spending your money is what they're saying. Your body's a temple, and as Mercury wings into Leo and your wellness corner on Tuesday, it's officially the season. Take care of your wellness, which is a good thing for me, because it's been hard for me to get back on my appropriate eating and exercise with such a rough first trimester. But I am getting my energy back, and I do have my appetite back. So it is time to start cooking again, and so on and so forth. There's a lot more to it, and I highly recommend that you check it out. And that's why I share this information, so that if you so desire, you can pull that information up for yourself. Ooh, hold on. I'm trying to get back to my, okay. So those are the emails that I get. That's just what I'm looking at. I also don't do any social media resources for the week ahead. Like I just said, I will do my Chani app, but I'll probably do that privately, because she has usually a 10 to 15 minute listen to for your rising sign. So that would be kind of weird, and I think a copyright if I played it on this video. So then I could go into the photos that I've taken. So like I said, at the beginning of every month, I go through and I'm like, hey, what do I need for this month? And I go through and I write it. So for July explicitly, in my Practical Witches Almanac, they tell you auspicious or inauspicious days. And the July 23rd is supposed to be an auspicious day. So I'm going to underline that. We got a lucky day on July 23rd. And then an inauspicious day, we don't have one this week. So that's a good week. Yay. The other thing, let's see, Just a Phase Planner. And I've gone over these resources numerous times, because I did a whole planner review for last year and for this year, and just kind of telling you guys what I like to work with. This is kind of just giving you an inside view of how I'm working with it. Basically, I pull them out every week and I jot down whatever information they're giving me. So for Just a Phase Planner for this week, last quarter in Aries, I like to use last quarter Aries moons to burn away anything that is unwanted. On a small slip of paper, write down what you are releasing, then light it on fire and watch it burn in a burn safe container. I personally like that idea a lot. The way that I do it is I write all the bad things on a piece of paper, and I fold it away from me. You want it to go away. And then I light it on fire and burn it. I have like a shell, I have cauldrons, I have other fire safe containers. And then I flush it down the toilet so it can go away. So, and then the last quarter moon in my time zone, which is Pacific Standard Time, is July 20th. So I also have Llewellyn's Daily Planetary Guide, and it has a week and by week review. So this week, readiness is all. Sometimes life is all about waiting and doubting until that final moment arises when action is not only possible, but inevitable. This week, you may be besieged by more feeling of hesitation and indecision than Hamlet himself. Shakespearean levels of betrayal, secrets, suspicion, and misunderstanding will abound. It is best to gather all required information up front before confronting treacherous people or situations. Follow your gut on Monday. So I like to write that. Follow your gut on Monday, as the manipulations of power-hungry, competitive people may come to light, leading to hurt feelings and a desire for righteous revenge. This is due to an opposition of crafty Mercury to scheming Pluto while trining the moon, along with a lunar square of oversensitive Venus and a conjunction of Jupiter. Mental clarity comes roaring back on Tuesday when Mercury enters loyal, truth-seeking Leo. So I'm going to write mental clarity. While the sun's opposition to Pluto will reveal how your real enemies are on this day, it is best not to strike back at this time. Wednesday's lunar T square pulls in the Sun, Pluto, and Mercury, dragging you into petty power games you have no desire to play, though your honor and pride demand to be defended. Oh, so I'm going to put power plays. Avoid those. Avoid tricksy people on Wednesday. Sounds like the whole week you should be trying to avoid tricksy people. Thursday is a day to build up emotional courage, assisted by a lunar conjunction of Mars. Emotional courage. On Friday, the day for battle has finally arrived. Even if you are still besieged by lingering doubts, you will be spurred to action due to lunar conjunction of Uranus in square with Saturn. Hi, baby. Oh, my son is coming. What are you doing?
Make sure to like and subscribe and click the bell if you want to see more Honda Hollow.
He's so cute. Thank you. Bye. He watches. He's probably watching Bronzo or some Minecraft YouTube person right now, and they always say things like that. So thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, Friday. Day for battle has finally arrived. Even if you're besieged by lingering doubts, you will be spurred to action due to lunar conjunction of Uranus and square to Saturn. When the moon trines Pluto later in the day, a sense of personal power and success will have been restored. Challenge, personal power. Challenge, comma, personal power. That's what I'm writing. You can reap the rewards of victory on Saturday when a reassuring trine between Mercury and Jupiter proves that all wrongs have been righted. Celebrate. Sunday is a rare day without any major astrological aspects, providing a moment of peace and harmony for all. Peace and harmony. That sounds good. Thank you. He is cute. Okay, so that was Llewellyn's planetary guide. The next one I have is Llewellyn's moon side guide for 2022. And every week they have a little blurb about the week ahead. There are several ways to make a trellis pop even without climbing flowers. If a trellis has seen better days, spray paint it turquoise or sunny yellow, cover it with lights, hang ornaments for a colorful. I mean, a lot of times it's not very useful at all. I don't have any unused trellises lying around, but thank you. um, let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so that covers that. I'll have to come back to that for Chani. Then the next thing is I have resources in this book. Not all of them are weekly resources, so let me just take a quick gander at what we have. So the Astro Twins did a 2022 year ahead kind of book, and they have, it's really thorough. It goes by each sun sign. It goes by like what is your week ahead, or what is your year ahead. It goes through like monthly and such, and then it has like for everybody just their forecasts. So let's see what we have here. So on July 17th, oh, exactly, Liberia. Stay cautious for tricky people, which you should always do, but apparently people are going to be out of pocket this week. On July 19th, which is Tuesday, Sun and Pluto are having an opposition. If you want answers, slip on the sleuthing hat and maybe throw down some tarot spreads. There will be so much going on below the surface that it will be impossible to interpret anything at face value. We're not saying that you should treat perfect strangers like prime suspects, but if someone's motives seem questionable, tap into Pluto's investigative powers and take a deeper look. Keep storming your feelings under wraps and off of social media. With the sun in emo Cancer, people are prone to taking things personally. Just don't be so esoteric that you cloak and dagger act arouses suspicion or makes you look like you're hiding something. It's a tricky line to watch. So it sounds like Tuesday in particular, you're going to see some warning signs. You can do some digging, you should do some divination, but don't act yet. And definitely don't spill your beans on social media. Mercury goes into Leo on the 19th. Restore your roar. Communicator Mercury struts into loud, proud Leo, turning up the volume on creative expression. After a few low-key weeks, this passionate cycle directs us back into the public eye. If you don't want to get lost in the shuffle, make a bold statement. Use storytelling techniques and eye-popping visuals to underscore your message, whether you're pitching a business idea or posting on social media. Play with music, video, and other effects that will get people to stop scrolling and tap on your profile. With heart-centered Leo playing communications director, there's no reason to be crisp and formal. As long as you don't blur professional lines, it's okay to share warm, fuzzy feelings. So that's really good to know. I'm hoping to get my Zooms started really close. So if I can get it started in that range, I'll feel good about that. Not that my Mercury's in Virgo, so it's still good if it gets started late. But I do like that Leo energy. On the 20th, which is Wednesday, the waning quarter moon in Aries. It's an impulsive, energetic Aries, brings your focus back to the present moment. Quick, stop snapping selfies and look around. What's happening beyond the perimeter of your mobile screen? Magic can happen if you follow the suggestion of Aries Ramdas and be here now. Have you been placing other people's needs above your own? Refine and rediscover your happy place. Self love is not selfishness, it's self preservation. Detach from sticky entanglements and give your personal wish list a review. Are those goals bringing deep down for fulfillment, or could they use a tweak? Today, you'll find that it's easy to tap the quick fire, spontaneous vibe that the star sign stirs up. Okay, this also goes really good because on the full moon, we talked about how moons are about culmination, but then as we wane, we reviewed our goals. We're like, hey, yay, we set these goals on January 2nd or whatever, and we accomplished all of this. We're doing so well. And now that the moon is waiting, what are we going to let go of? What are we going to refine? And it sounds like this waning quarter is a really good time to be like, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to work on this. This has to go. So then it talks about the sun transitioning into Leo on Friday. And that is basically it. It doesn't talk about Friday explicitly. It talks about like the season in general. And we could talk about that at a different time. So let me just double check. Oops, come on. Let me see if there's anything else in this particular library that I need for today. No. And then I go into my good notes. And so in good notes, I have like a notebook. It's called my reference notebook, and it's basically my planner for the year. So in here, I have my digital copies of, let's see, the Tune to the Moon planner, which is my Spirit de la Lune planner. And since I got the digital one, I actually haven't really used the physical one at all. And it says on 18th, Venus moves into Cancer, which can enhance your need for tenderness and affection. You might feel more affectionate and cuddly during this period of time, especially if your home environment is safe and nurturing. On the following day, so it's the 19th, Chiron, the wounded healer, goes retrograde in Aries, which can help you face old wounds and old fears with courage. Chiron retrograde can often bring up old wounds in order to be healed again. On the same day, Mercury enters Leo, making your way of thinking and communicating more grand. You will feel more confident and expressive right now. You are also more persuasive too. Remember to be receptive to others and not take too much airtime. So the gem of the week is lapis lazuli. Keeps you grounded in your power and truth as you move through old wounds. Lapis can help you reclaim your power and get out of the martyrdom victim mentality. So that's, sounds like it's going to be a good week in that respect. So let's see, what else do we have? So the ritual planner also has like a weekly spread. And for those of you who haven't seen it, but I did do a review, it's basically got a spread for you to draw a card for the week and then spreads for each day and kind of use it as a planner. And I don't do that right now because I need my Apple Pen. Soul Care Planner. Let's see what they say. Last quarter moon in Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries is all about the self and getting things started. Quite the opposite of our last quarter moon energy of releasing and letting go. Use this fiery energy to take a look at what is blocking you or holding you back when it comes to your motivation and energy. What do you need to release or let go of to move forward this next lunar cycle? Because we're still working with the waning moon, right? So this is a good time to release gunk. It's an excellent time. So anything that's holding you back, especially with tricky people, maybe pull it in, maybe do some inner work, maybe keep an eye on what's happening around you, take an inventory for yourself, and just get ready to release. And then we got witch tracks, which, oops, no. Which also has weekly spreads, but it looks like this. So that is all of my planner information for the week. The only thing that I haven't done is Chani, and that's because it has like a video to listen to. But the nitty gritty was in the email. And then this is a 2-part thing. So that's how astrologically, spiritually, magically, I'm getting primed up, like thinking, okay, I've got these goals, I've got these things to do. This is my spiritual side, right? This is my bullet journal. This is my practical side. What appointments do I have? Where do I need to be? What's going on? And then I can be like, oh, I have 5 appointments really out in the public, and it looks like tricky people are going to be out and about. So what am I going to do to protect myself? So I kind of look at what I have. I also take an opportunity every week to look at my goals and kind of say, okay, what are we working on this week? So at the beginning of the month, I make a sheet like this for every week. I'll show you. So that one's no good. So this is for the upcoming week. It's really simple, right? I have the week, I have each day here. At the beginning of the month, I go through the Witch's Almanac, and they have little enigmatic phrases for different days. If it has one, I put it there. This is where I'll put my routines for the week. This is where I'll put my goals. Okay, so that's how I do every week. I have my pen here that I like to use, and here we go. So I have it cracked open here, and I have it going through my main things here. So the first thing I know that I have to do is camps. I'm doing my last week of summer camps, so I've got that on the top of my list. The goals that I have left, I always like to keep track of my finances. I put it on my list because it's something I like to keep track of. So nothing really big pushes this week. I'd like to work on my wellness this upcoming week, and it does recommend that. 15, this week, 16 weeks pregnant. We also have, let's see, moon-wise. This week we have a last quarter moon. I kind of look at my bucket list to see if there's anything I can try and get done this week. No. I like to look at, see if I have any favorites or highlights. And I don't know if I went over this at the beginning of the year, but like my favorite things, if anything came up, I just like to touch base with myself and keep track. So then I have my summer projects. So I break it down by season as well. My summer projects look like, so now that I have all my boxes caught up, I really need to work on my witchy yard sale and just plan dates and start writing down like, okay, these are books. These are the books I have. These are decks. These are the decks I have. This is candles. These are the candles I have, so on and so forth. Take all the pictures so that when we're ready to go, I have everything lined up. I have the live. I make boxes for people as I go. And then I also release an album on my private Facebook group, and people can shop there if they can't make it to the lives with me. And so that takes a lot of prep, and I want it to be nice and streamlined so that I can get people's packages out sooner this time, because a lot of times it's really hard for me because I have to break, go work for 12 hours, be exhausted, and try and squeeze in everything around it. But now I have time to commit to it. I would love to work on my blog. I keep saying that, but it's harder than it sounds. It's my last week of camps. I have, let me see. Oh, Friday night, I've been doing a new series, Friday Night Lives, where we talk about just educational topic. And so I'll write that down. Then my monthly planner looks like this. Tells me all the astrology signs for the week, any planetary movements, and a quote. So I like to also write down next to each day where the sign is going to be. So on the 18th in my time zone, it's going to be Aries. We have another Aries. Then we have a last quarter. So in my time, the last quarter moon is actually in Taurus, but that's fine. Taurus, Gemini. So I got my little astrologies lined up for the week. And then I have like subscriptions. I have packages that I'm still waiting on. I have projects that I'm working on. So, of course, I need to track a couple projects. Just write it down. And then I look one more time at my phone because that's where I actually keep my calendar with all of my husband's, sons, and myself's appointments. And I'll write that down next to each day. If this is really boring, I'm sorry. I just thought I'd share how I get ready for a week. So Monday, we have karate at 4, and then we have a play date. Okay. And then Tuesday, we have that, and I have camps that time. Wednesday, Thursday, oh, I got that too. 15. Friday is Friday Night Live. And hopefully I can get my Zoom organized. Saturday and Sunday so far are open. So that's kind of pleasant. No worries. So from there, I have everything that I need to do for the week. And then I kind of look at last week and I say, okay, so I didn't do that. Either I'm not going to do it or it comes forward a week. Hey, I'm just going through the practical aspects of how I get ready for the week. So I still need to do a goal review. I haven't done that. That has been on my list. It's been on my list for a while, but also because of the full moon is a good time to do so. I really got to. So my garden is transitioning the summertime, so I'm getting my garlics done early. So I'm getting that out, and then I have 2 beds that are available until October. So I got to think what I'm going to plant there. And then my strawberries have died all the way back. My kale just won't die. I keep eating it. And then I still have a lot of space in the center of that garden. My peas died, so I got another I gotta redo the garden. Long story short, I God bless it. This is my 3rd week with organize and clean the bathroom on my list. I'm gonna do it this week. I promise. I got the blog on there. I need to get a couple more book reviews up. I've got a few weeks already. I did Buckland's and I did the Ultimate Chakra Guide, but I really want to get through a few more since that's something I can do all day and it doesn't take too much out of me. I already got blogs on there. Um, I think my routine, oh, what I put here was routine work. And what I mean by that is like review my routines and see what's working and what's not. But again, with this last quarter waning crescent, that's right. But yeah, that's true, Sunny Girl. But also, I got a shopping problem. And so, one of the things that I need to do is actually get under my sink and in my little bathroom tower and be like, am I going to use this gel that I bought 2 years ago? I need to do that part. And that is suck. But I got to do it because I'm getting to the point where, like, oh, I need serum. So, why don't I buy all these products? So, no, 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 we're not going to do that. We're going to go through, we're going to see what we have, and then I can buy specific products that I'm actually missing. But there is a good chance that in one of those boxes somewhere under my sink or in my little bathroom organizer, there is probably serum. There's probably deep conditioner. There's probably bath soap. There's probably spare toothbrush. Like there, I buy things in bulk. So there's probably there somewhere. And then I will treat myself with a lovely waning crescent moon bath, which is one of my favorite things because that's a good time for release. Detox yourself, get rid of all that shit, let it go down the drain. You'll be fresh for the next lunar cycle. Um, Build up. I do need to work on my wellness. I am struggling. You guys know. Um, Getting back on it, but I have been doing more and it feels good and I just need to keep slowly building up. That's a good rule, Sunny Farm Girl. But if it don't smell bad, I'm probably going to keep it and I'm going to be like, I'm going to use this and then I'll find ways to use it. I'm going to shelf. I am going to try to get to the library. It's not too late for me to sign my son up for the summer reading program. I'm doing worksheets with him to help him transition over the summer. A lot of educational information is lost when you have long summer breaks like we do in Oregon. I really don't want that for him, especially since his kindergarten year was tainted by COVID. And so he didn't really get a kindergarten year. He spent all of first grade catching up for kindergarten and then catching up for first grade. So I really want to, hello, Nanette. I really want to give him a good chance to keep moving. And so we have workbooks about transitioning from first to second grade, which I got on like flash sale or something on Barnes and Nobles. And then we have one on learning Spanish, which is part of our goal that he really wants to. So I put, just that I'm doing summer work with him. Also, this is the first time ever that I'm off with my son. And so it's nice. I try to get him play dates. I try to do worksheets with him, try to get him off the electronics every day. We have a pool, we have a trampoline. We have animals. Bunnies are his responsibility. We had a turkey incident today. I was like, oh, we have baby turkeys because they were born when he was at Mama's house. So when I picked him up, I was like, let's go check on the turkeys because usually I have my husband go out there and make sure that mom's doing a good job because last year all the baby turkeys died. She did not do a good job. This is her second try. And we took precautions by locking her in the maternity pen with her babies. Bad news is they're still itty bitty and they can escape the maternity pen, which they don't normally do except for when I opened the pen to check on them. So I opened the pen to check on them and one of them got out and it was like, oh my God. So then I was like, fuck. So I go into the pen and I tell my son to go around the other side and my son caught it. So he's got a little screaming baby turkey. A baby turkey is called a poult. He's got a screaming poult. The other poult are screaming. They're escaping. So I'm like, ah. So I have my son come back around, stand at the gate so that they didn't escape. And then I scooted everybody back in. And we got them all in. Everybody's accounted for. But it was kind of a fun, dramatic event because we don't want any of them to die. And we still got 9 eggs in the incubator to see if any of those will hatch. And then if they do hatch, we'll. Otherwise, I got a broody hen on the porch. Then chicken mama. I'm unstable, so sorry if it's messing up. Chicken mama will usually take over. I don't know if I need to film and upload this week. I've really caught up on that. I've got all my boxes done. Garden and animals is something I always have. Every week I'm working in the garden and I'm doing the weekly care for the animals. So the rabbits will need water and food on periodic days. We don't give them fresh every day. We fill them up and then they kind of go through it. The waterings, not every week. We have like a whole bunch of troughs around the property and they get it. So my husband goes out there and fills it up periodically. Watering the plants, harvesting, planting, those are all the chores that I'm talking about with that thing. So basically the thing. The last part is I take my routines that I set goals for and I say, is this still working? So I do a mini review and then I set kind of my routine goals. And why that is pertinent to this channel is that my daily goals are I try to approach them as spiritual practice, still like working towards my goals, working towards my intention, manifesting my reality. And I try to put, easy spiritual tasks on there so that I can always feel connected. We talked a lot about this on Friday Night Live. It was a great chat. I'm super interested in how everybody else does it. I also got some comments like, you write that down? Yes, I write it down because that helps me be accountable, but it also helps me have a little dopamine of like, yeah, I'm checking something off my list. So I always track my dreams. I am pregnant and I have been losing a lot of weight. So I like to check in every day to see how I'm doing with that because that's not really ideal at this juncture. I want to grow a healthy baby. We talked about the incense. I like the incense. I swipe it over myself. I swipe it over my husband and son who are usually still sleeping. I do a morning check-in on my productivity app. But you can do a morning check-in with however you want. I write an affirmation for the day every morning. Nothing fancy. I check in with the ancestors. I have a book, Ancestor Said, so I look at a quote of the day. You do a quote of the day book, Rumi, however you want to do that. I check my astrology, and so as you can see in my journal, I'll probably add more things, but each day has little notes and blurbs just so I can see where everything's moving and going and what I need to keep in mind. With that, all of that information, I plan my day. And it sounds like a lot of things, but all of these things, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 8 of those things I can get done in 10, 15 minutes, depending on how detailed my dream was. I had such a bad dream. I have vivid pregnancy. I have vivid dreams anyway, but my pregnancy dreams are super vivid. Hi, Carmen. And I was so embarrassed in my dream that I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. It was so embarrassing. Just some young man, had fallen in love with me and he was trying to ask me out on a date. And I'm like, yeah. But if you get a chance, then definitely watch the Friday Night Live. I talk for almost 2 hours about how I bring daily practice into my mundane life and how to like reframe your thinking around like spiritual connection. So what I call it is mundane magic, or basically bringing in magic and spirit into your daily life. My husband just says, turn your chores into meditation. But also turn your mind around about your chores. Like he used to hate pool maintenance, but then, cleaning the pool is meditation. He uses that as his thinking time or just like a meditative practice. But he also thinks of it in terms of I get to clean the pool. I get to have a pool. I get to provide a pool for my family. This is like a thing that I do for my son. And so it helped turn it. And you can do that with so many things. And I'll keep talking about that as I go through like my routine. So 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how vivid my dream was. This morning, I had a young man who had fallen in love with me. He was trying to ask me out on a date. And I'm like, I'm married. And he's like, how am I supposed to know you're not wearing a ring? And I'm like, I'm not wearing a ring because I've lost so much weight. It just flies off my hand and I'm not trying to lose it. And also I talk about my husband all the time. It was just so embarrassing. And he's crying. I was just like, I'm heavily pregnant. What are you talking about, sir? It was so embarrassing. It was kind of a funny dream. I check Quicken every day. That's just me. You don't have to be neurotic, but basically it's a finance check-in where I'm like, well, how much have I spent? Where am I at? Are all the bills caught up? Whatever. Hygiene, so dental and K-beauty. So just trying to put on sunblock and such. Hey, baby, what's up? I forgot about what? Oh, you want me to talk about this? My son found this rock. He's been, so the other day he took a pickaxe and started digging a gold mine in the yard. And he wants you guys to see this rock. He thinks that it's iron. It's probably got some iron particles in it because it's obviously got like rust, like some oxide there. But is there anything else I missed that you wanted me to share?
I think I found more iron.
You found more iron?
Yeah, I think so.
You gave up digging that mine pretty quickly.
I didn't give up.
Okay. I don't know. I don't see a mine in the front yard.
It's not in the front yard.
Where did you put it?
On the hillside.
Oh, well, you're going to dig Mama a root cellar. You better get to it before the winter comes.
Oh, I'm going to have to get doing that because before winter.
Yeah.
Oh, because then I can't do it because it's going to be too cold.
Yep, and the ground will freeze, but also because in the winter, traditionally, that's where you put your food that you're storing in your root cellar. So that'd be really nice if you could work on your hole in the hillside for Mama.
So we could store what? Food? What?
He says you can tell him that he might find an ore one day. Maybe. You found lots of pretty rocks for Mama in the past.
Okay.
All right. Can I finish this? I'm almost done.
What? I actually kind of missed something.
You missed what?
Okay. So...
If you think about it, you can come back, okay?
Okay.
All right. What do you want? Can I finish?
Okay.
All right. I love you. I'm almost done. I also talked about how, hey, baby, close the door. Thank you. Don't slam it. Thank you. Okay. How just taking care of your body is spiritual practice. It's self-care. You can do sigils. You can do positive affirmations. You can do whatever you're going to do. I go into it in pretty detail. I try to have a movement goal. I haven't necessarily been accomplishing it, but I'm going to keep trying it. Music, I do accomplish every day. I'm going to try to get my walking back in. I'm an optimist. I'm going to get my walking back in. I'm going to build up. I'm going to get my fluids in. I get outside every day, and that is a goal for me. I want to see, because the main thing that I'm trying to do is pay attention to how things are changing every day. What's blooming? What animal tracks? What's the weather like? How's my garden changing? What do the roses look like? And in that way, that's a super easy way to connect spiritual practice, because I'm observing and connecting with my land, with land spirits, with the spirits of different plants and ores and parts of my property. You could do that just by observing your local park, your house plants, just the temperature outside, all of that is important. Today we discovered a new plant that we hadn't seen, and also like a gratuitous amount of peas on the hillside that decided to grow this year, and we planted them last fall, not this last fall, but the fall before last, in 2020 after the fires, to prevent erosion. And this year is the year that they came up. And so the peas, unfortunately, my husband found them, they're field peas, but even then he didn't find them when they were fresh, so we couldn't wild forage them. We gave them to the birds, and they had a wonderful treat. So, and also we have big old elder flowers right now, not elderberries yet, but they will be. And I wouldn't know that if I didn't get outside. Ofrenda maintenance is always a goal. Clean for at least 15 minutes is always a goal, because I got to make myself do it. Stretch. I need to stretch because this round ligament is killing me. It really hurts. It's uncomfortable. I give my son his vitamins and force him to clean his body, which, I mean, it's not like he's dirty boy, but 7 years old don't care about hygiene. And then just different things that I like to do for myself. I try to remind myself to wear a bonnet to protect my curls, and I usually fail. And then just putting my son to bed. We have a little bedtime routine that's important for us. I track, which means I go through and I see like what I've accomplished. That's wonderful. And so one of the things you can do is just, how is it going? What do they look like? What bugs are in your garden today? What flowers have bloomed? Who's almost ripe? All of that is magical work. If you're going to use those herbs or those flowers, or you're going to eat those tomatoes, or even just maintaining those things that wild things will engage with, that is work. That is the work. You are connecting with your land. That is vital. I check in the evening on my productivity thing to see how it went. And then, of course, we have gratitude. I try to say the rosary every day. I like to read. I try to get 7 hours of sleep. So this is just my routines. Pelvic floor exercises specifically because you're carrying a bowling ball in your pelvis. And I'm going to put my supplements on here because I am just absolutely terrible about taking my prenatals. And so that's my routines for the week. They change every week, but that's how I keep myself accountable and encourage connection and spiritual practice. So that's it. I got my practical. Well, you could also write down your dreams. You can, so many things. You could cook yourself something yummy and put your intention into it. There's so many things. So I have my practical, I have my spiritual. I am set. The only other thing that I would say is if I was working, there would be more to it. And what do I mean by that? I mean that, what am I going to wear? So I would plan out clothes. I would make sure my son's clothes are ready for the week because my husband and I get him dressed before I go to work in the mornings. So does my son have his clothes? Does he have his karate uniform? Do we have swim trunks? Are there towels? So we do the laundry. On Sunday, we check and make sure that we have the laundry for the week, especially when I'm working. Do I have my uniforms? Do I have my professional dress? Blah, blah, blah. My husband's easier because, he wears what he wants. But my son and I will need to wear specific things during the week. So how are we going to dress our bodies? The other thing is if we have any specific appointments that are going to need preparation, we'll account for that. If we... it's way more important when I'm working and he's going to school, but what are we going to eat? So right now, he's really enjoying, we have cereal for breakfast almost every day. At least he does. And that's his jam. That's what he wants to do. He wants to be eating cereal. I got him a variety of cereal. That's great. Sometimes he goes through a pancake phase. Sometimes he goes through a waffle phase. Sometimes he wants French toast for breakfast. Occasionally he wants eggs. So I kind of say, these are his breakfasts. My husband and I will typically have, my husband will drink coffee if I just let him. I try to encourage him to eat. And myself, I'll have coffee and a protein shake because I'm having a hard time getting calories in for the baby. Yay. Nanette, you are not alone. My husband goes through seasonal depression in the summer. He's being fucking hot. It brings out the worst in him. It makes him angry. I have to really care to really give him a lot of grace and be really nurturing here because he does not want to be hot. And then he doesn't get hungry until he's super hungry. And he's just mean and hangry. Oh, no. It's not a good time. I don't like being hot either. Summer is my least favorite season. And my garden actually went to shit this year because we had plans to change the location of the garden to better suit the life. And it was just inaccessible for me. Usually the garden's right outside my kitchen door. So it's not a chore for me to take care of it because it's right there. It's right there. We moved it to a different part of the property to protect it from the dogs. And yes, the dogs had to get into it, but I was not always feeling well, so I didn't make it out to the garden to water it. So, you know, summer is a challenge, but there's also a lot of beautiful things going on. So even if you only get out there in the cool of the evening or in the cool of the morning, that's still something. It's still worthwhile. Um, and you don't have to every day, but I never regretted getting outside. I've never gone outside and been like, fuck that. I've always been like, oh, great. Or I really need to take care of that. Or I'm so happy I noticed this flower. It smelled so beautiful. Or I have a dahlia in the garden. Um, I've never regretted going outside and looking at the land. Never. So if you can force yourself, you'll feel better for it. Yes, libraries, definitely. What was I saying? Oh, the other thing is if you're working, try to consider like what are you going to eat. You will save money if you so desire to do so. If you cook at home, and I desire to do so. Um, so I kind of gauge. So I did this already yesterday because that's the day that I went grocery shopping. But when I'm working, it's typically on Sunday. And so I go through and I look at my freezer, my fridge, my pantry, and my garden, and I say, what do we have? What do we got here? And then I write it all down. And then I say, okay, what's going on in our lives? What days do I have time to cook? And what days are pinched? And then I make a menu plan and I grocery shop if I need stuff, which I almost always need stuff because this kid is going through a gallon of milk a week. And he's a very small 7-year-old. I cannot wait to see what he's going to eat when he's 15. So definitely consider practical concerns for your personal life. For me, I'm off for the summer. My son's off for the summer, and I can be pretty flexible and just kind of say, oh, what do we feel like tonight? I'm going to pull this out, defrost it, and make this. So tonight we're having albondigas, which is like a beef soup. Why do we eat soup when it's hot? Because we're Latino and we eat soup every damn day if we could. My son's favorite food is soups. Oh. I do when it's hard for me with food aversions right now. I do rely more heavily on restaurants than I should. And I'm trying to transition away from that because I am on a fixed income this summer. I only saved so much money for my sabbatical, and inflation, unfortunately, has kind of taken the wind out of my sails. So the price of gas and inflation on food items has really affected how much wiggle room that we have. And so I do have to be careful, which I'm blessed because obviously I grow food and I have birds and I get eggs and I have extra eggs so I can sell some eggs and I cook extensively. Albondigas is that's how I write it. Meatball soup, beefy meatball soup. And I add stew meat in there too. I got to cook it as soon as I get off with you guys. I'll start cooking it because I like to simmer it low and slow so that the fibers in the meat can break down. But it's delicious. My son loves soup. My husband will eat soup even if it's hot because he will eat what I make. And we had a cool thing for lunch. We had bagels and lox, so that was a cold lunch. And I've been trying to give him cold lunches to go with his hot outside work. So yesterday we had a nice loaded salad, and then we had soup for dinner. So that it'll look like that today. I need to go buy fruit, but I wanted to buy fruit from there's a viejito who sells fruit on the corner, and it's the same price at Fred Meyer's except for I'm buying from my neighbors. So I do want to go purchase that, but it's Sunday and he takes Sunday off, so I have to wait till tomorrow. So kind of keep in mind how your food's gonna. I love soup. Oh yes, exactly, Liberius. That's what meatball soup. Although sometimes I cheat and I don't make the meatballs, I just put ground beef. And nobody knows the difference. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. How will they know? My boys still not going to tell anybody and they don't care. But maybe I'll make some little meatballs to see if my son will eat. But he's a meat eater. He will eat meat. So if you have like, oh, I'm going to work and it's going to be a long shift, then I will schedule a crock pot meal. So I can make red beans and rice in the crock pot. I can make casserole in the crock pot. I can put meats in the crock pot that then I can shred and have over rice or in a taco. Or there's a soup in the crock pot. I use the crock pot all year long, all the time. So that's a good idea if you don't have very much time to feed yourself at home. The other thing is if you have Sunday off, a lot of the times I'll get my foods ready for work. I'll make a big Sunday dinner. I'll feed my husband and son, and then I will use the leftovers for my lunches. But also, like, let's say, for example, I cook a big chicken, a whole chicken. We'll eat part of the chicken for dinner. And then the rest of the chicken, I'll make myself little lunches for the week. And then I'll still have, a good amount of shredded chicken that on Wednesday we'll have it with tacos. So I set that aside to have on Wednesday with tacos, which my husband can make himself because all you really got to do is prepare the tortillas. We have all the side things, heat up the chicken, ta-da, tacos. Or, let's say I roast a pork loin for Sunday dinner. We eat our serving for dinner. I put aside some for my lunches for work, and then we still have half of a pork loin, so I'll cut it into little bits. We'll have pork nachos later the week. That's a great idea. However it is that you cook, that's another consideration when you're prepping for the week ahead. What are you going to eat? If you go grocery shopping only one day a week, it's going to save you money. Is this a money saving channel? Why not? You're going to create prosperity and abundance. Why not do the practical things that's going to create prosperity, abundance, which is living below your means? So I digress. The other things, so your laundry, if you clean on the weekends, we usually do like a little reset. Like, okay, let's get our house tidy because it makes us feel better. Make sure that the clothes are clean for the week. Make sure that your food is lined up for the week. If you need to grocery shop, do so. If you're going to need specific things for the week, try to plan that out, plan your appointments. And then, so it's not just, I don't just astrologically prep for the week. I know that this week's going to be full of tricksy people that I'm going to need to be careful for. So maybe I'm going to stay home more this week and work on the front room so I can get ready for the yard sale, read books so that I can do book reviews, take my son to the park so that he can play, go to the library so we can start his summer reading book, write in my blog. I know this week that it's not going to be necessarily a good socializing week. And so there's lots of things that I can do to accomplish my goals in life while still pulling back my energy. And then, of course, practical. There is nothing, and you're going to hate me. You're going to hate me when I say this. But there is no point in doing work for manifesting and doing spiritual work and casting spells or doing any of that. There's no point in doing that if you're not going to follow through and do the practical steps of accomplishing your goals every day. There's no point. That's why I say that mundane is magic, because let's say you set a goal to have more wealth. If you don't take actual steps to have more wealth, I mean, like, let's say you do a quick Saint Expedite wealth thing where you need something like to pay this bill like as soon as possible. That's a different thing. That is a quick fix. That is a bada bing, bada boom. But real prosperity and abundance is like, how are you going to set yourself up so that if those things happen, you have a savings? You're not living paycheck to paycheck. And that's always, always going to be practical steps with magical and intentional spiritual work. But you can't have one without the other. You could do prosperity spells till the cows come home. If you spend your money stupid and you don't work and you have no sources of income, you're not this. I mean, a wealthy old billionaire is not going to fall in your lap. If that's your plan, you still got to dress yourself up and put yourself in front of him or her, whoever. You got to go out there and get your old person to marry if that's your plan. Or if you want to win the lottery, you got to buy that ticket. You still got to take the practical step to do the thing. That's good. And you can think about that for every goal that you have. You want to write a book. You can set that manifestation. You can put that out into the universe. You can do your intention with a Capricorn new moon for your career, for your project, for your thing. If you don't write, if you don't set aside time every day to do 1,000 words or whatever, you don't make that daily spiritual commitment, that daily practical spiritual commitment, you're not gonna do it. You have always the two things go together. Every day of your life is magic because you're making your life every day. Right? Otherwise, the magic is just for show. It's just like not pretend, but it's just like an afterthought. It's the every day that changes your life. And on that note, does anybody have any questions? How do you guys get ready? If you have commentary, I'd love to hear it. I always like comments and feedback. Granted, some of it doesn't show up well without inflection. So I get comments periodically on unboxings or things that are just like, I don't know how to take them. Like, for example, I have a lot of comments on my review of the Royal Stamp Wax thing, which was fine. Some are straight up condescending, like, why would you buy a box if you don't know what you're doing? Because I fucking can, Brenda. What do you want from me? And also because I'm curious. But some people are like, you can get all of this on AliExpress for $3. And I'm like, do you want like what am I supposed to do with that information? Good for you? Do you want a medal? Like, what do you want from me? I've already bought it. I'm not going to get my money back. I'm not going to buy more because now I have more than I need. So I guess I just don't understand sometimes the comments. And I'm trying to assume that they come from a good place. You're trying to have conversation. You're not necessarily trying to be condescending. The inflection comes out weird. You're trying to stimulate to generate commentary, which I appreciate, but sometimes I have no idea how to respond to it. Just like, okay, thank you. Great. I don't think that's going to happen here. It's never happened on one of my lives. I did have a weird comment on one of my unboxings of a tarot deck about how they were like evil for children. And I'm just like, I didn't respond for the sheer fact that like there are children trafficked. There are children in cages. There are children starving to death. There are 500,000 children in the foster care system in my country alone. There's a lot of very real evil happening to children every second of every day. And you took a beautiful tarot deck, and that's the fucking hill you're going to die on, my dude. If you care about evil being done to children, I can give you a half a dozen examples of how you can actually do something to help children. I don't think that was the intent of the response. But anyway, I'm on my soapbox. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. This was a get ready with me just to kind of show you how I'm getting ready for the week. But also, I buy a shit ton of planners. You probably like she uses them. This is how I use them. I go through every week, every aspect. Sometimes, well, usually for the month, almost always for the month, because I set up my bullet journal for the month. Like, I'll do the month spread. I'll do all of that for the month. And for the season or Sabbath. That's wonderful, Stephanie. That's exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. When you're in a place where you can do the practice that you envision for yourself, do it. But if you're in a place where you're just like you're transitioning, life is hard, anything is better than nothing. I used to be one of those people all my life where it's like, if you're going to do something, do it right. No. If the choice is to do something shitty or to not do it at all, then some things you should still do shitty. You should still connect. You should still, try. You should try things because especially when you're learning a new skill, you're going to be shitty at first and you're going to get better. Practice makes progress. So it's better to do something than nothing. And what really changed my mind is that we say those kind of things and it takes into account no mental illnesses, no life circumstances, no neurodivergence. And what the fact of the matter is, all of those things exist and they can happen to anybody at any time. And what it comes down to is something is better than nothing. Some connection is better than nothing. Some reading, some affirmation, some prayer, some uh, meditative walk, some breath work, any of it is better than feeling so hopeless and so disconnected that you do nothing, that you're paralyzed into doing nothing. I don't want that for you. I hate it when it happens to myself. I feel like my life is going by without me. I don't want those feelings for you. So, however you can connect, just by even connecting with me today, we are having a spiritual conversation. We are building community. And that's really, really important, especially in these frightening times, right? We are connecting just like we're friends in my living room. And that's important. It's important for you socially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. So I wish you guys all the best day. I'm going to make albóndigas, and I'm probably going to listen to the Chani readout for the week while I'm cutting my vegetables, because there's no better time for meditation than vegetable cutting. Don't cut yourself, but it's my favorite time to listen to podcasts or to think about things. Um, Oh, so Nanette, watch some of my lives, because I do a lot of the resources that I talk about are absolutely free. And even the resources that I listed in this chat are free. So the Chani app is free. Getting a Chani email is free. Following Chani on Instagram and having Instagram is free. So there's your astrology for the week. Astro Twins is free, and they do free workshops all the time. So that's another really good source. If you go to my Get Ready With Me for the full moon, I talk about Celestial Bruja has a free list, Kiara Stellar, The Witching Hour. I go through a lot of resources. As a matter of fact, the first thing that I cover is all the resources that I access for free. The other thing is, I'm talking about my resources and reading them out to you for free here on this channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Um, Oh, thank you so much, hon. I've got to connect with you whenever you get a chance. Don't rush. I know you're working. Um, because I want to schedule the Zoom. I know living paycheck to paycheck fucking sucks. I have been there. I have worked at a gas station with people just being really cruel to you. I had one person who just called me an idiot, and I'm like, I am an OHSU school of nurse. It's one of the top 10 nursing schools in the country. I am not an idiot, sir. I'm working at a gas station because I need money to fucking eat. Like, what are you doing, sir? Why are you talking to me like that? But I get it. I have been there. And I am working more on talking about frugal and inexpensive things that you can do to connect all the time. So one of the main things that I do every time I do a live is I talk to you about free resources and low cost ways to connect spiritually. So definitely go back and look at some of my content. Yes, there's a lot of unboxings, and I've already talked about how I'm going to be shifting away from that, but there is going to be a lot in the next 2 months because I have to catch up on all the months that I missed. But I do talk a lot about free or very low cost um, spiritual practice. And I will always share with you free resources like I did today and like I shared on my other lives. So definitely check that out. There's a world worth of free resources out there. Some of them are crap. I am going to warn you now. Some of them are crap, but they're out there. And so definitely I will be sure to really verbalize that in my lives and in my Get Ready With Me, so that you guys know that there's so much out there for free. It doesn't, there, the practices that you see online, um, they make a living off of this. They're influencers. Um, and so, yes, it's beautiful. And yes, if that's what you aspire to, by all means, I love a beautiful altar. I love a beautiful looking ritual. I love a beautiful decorated home. But I'm just as powerful without any of it. And so are you. I promise you. So are you. So, resources. The Get Ready With Me has all of my resources for SBETs. We have a Sabbath coming up soon, so just definitely check that out. In the beginning of the live, I put in Chani, Astro Twins, and all of those other people. I try to type them up. It'll be in yellow so that you'll see what it is. I love you guys. As you can share in the comments how you're getting ready for this week, and any free resources that you know of to help each other to build community. And please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys soon. I will be live on Friday with a Friday Night Live. And for those of you who are expecting information about the Zoom, stay tuned for that. That will be coming as soon as I know. And it'll be about how we're going to really identify and solidify our personal practice around the wheel of the year as you live it, where you live, as you experience it, not just from a Eurocentric book. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. I got to get dinner started.